3AW Footy Highlights.
So the Bombers go forward, and is the ball going to carry? I reckon it has, and Smith goals.
He'll helped it to Walters, who gets it onto his left boot. Oh, and it's well marked for Fremantle, virtually on the goal post by Taverner. He miscued it, but he kicked the goal.
Oh, what a good mark. Strong mark taken by Townsend of the Bombers. Well, he's a goal kicker, and he delivered. And hang on, get back away from him. So I've got to say, early days, that's one of the best getting back from him that I think we've seen so far. Well done, lovely play on team. The sounds of string and the police. It's 5:32 at quarter time, Essendon. Fremantle 2-1-13. 3W Football, all thanks to McDonald's new 100% Aussie grain-fed beef burger. It's naturally delicious. I'll go down to you first, Jackie. All players get through unscathed?
Yes, all players did get through that first quarter unscathed. There were a few things I noticed, though, without the crowd. You can definitely hear the bench, so you don't really need the runners anymore. We had John Worsfold, who has been criticised in the past for not being vocal enough. You could hear him in the middle of the ground, I'm pretty sure. And Ben Rutten came and joined him on the bench midway through that quarter as well. So the tutorial continues before he takes over at the end of the year. And as well, when I broke that news about the Collingwood staff member who has been diagnosed with the coronavirus, has not made any contact with the club or the players and is in isolation, I was speaking to you guys and you could see the alarm on the players' faces and on the staff members as well, given it is so quiet in the stadium. They can hear us all reporting that.
It was until you actually said he wasn't part of the football department. I think when everyone was pricking their ears up to that point, Jackie.
Yeah, definitely got all of their attention. But the good news is he is in quarantine, is being monitored and will not return to the Holden Centre until he is medically cleared to do so. For
Husqvarna, we do the stats. I like our experts to pick one stat that really sums up why Essendon is 19 points in front. Lloyd, have you got a little thing being quite glaringly obvious?
It's the efficiency for Essendon, really, Tone, because disposals are all very similar. Fremantle have had similar possessions, 77 to 63 inside 50s. Essendon have only had one more, but it's just 5 contested marks to 1. I think the stat that jumps out. So Lob, Taberner took the one big grab in the goal square. That's all they've really been able to do. But down the other end, whether it's Townsend, Fantasia, whoever it is, they look much, much more dangerous as a forward 6.
It's largely Townsend's couple of, he's probably taken three relatively contested marks. I mean, the fact that he's had his ability, they're one-on-ones, the Fremantle defence didn't get over to help, but he's taken probably 3 one-on-one contested marks inside 50, kicked 2 goals from those 3 shots. That's probably the difference in the game, isn't it?
It's interesting on the Yarra Valley Toyota replay lead that Alistair Clarkson is actually here.
He snuck into the ground.
Watching the game. Should that be allowed? When we're having to actually ask for permission for a debutante's family to come and watch, and an opposition coach is here watching the game. So it's the power of Clarko.
Yeah, only one word sums it up, Tim, about Clarko.
He must have snuck in.
Genius, Tone.
Anyway, wouldn't have gone through normal channels. The genius of Clarko would have worked out.
Probably got his own lift. That's right, he's got his own lift.
He deserves one. Lee, I know early days, but the first quarter from the Dockers, was there one thing that more disappointed you with what they were trying to achieve at least?
Oh, it was more than just there. I mean, was it low inside 50s? I know you keep, in terms of what we expect, you had 20% down because of game time, but it was 11 inside 50s at 10, so there's, not that, they're fairly low numbers. Add 20%, well, that's, 13, 12. The actual, the tackling's really low. I mean, the intensity in the games, I mean, Richmond tackled brilliantly in their game, but 13 tackles to Essendon, 8 to Freo, so there's not a whole lot of defensive pressure being applied, or not the intensity that we normally see.
We start the second quarter, Bombers by 13 points. The Bombers by 19 points, 32 to 13. We get another stoppage, secondary ball tossed up, middle of the ground. Tim, all thanks to First National Real Estate.
5-2-32, the Bombers, exactly what Collingwood kicked in the first quarter, and we know how that one panned out as from the ball up. It's taken about 10 metres Essendon's way, just in a maul. And umpire Fisher has to come in and break it up in the traditional way. Darcy got the tap. Stolen by McGrath, though, for Essendon. Low ball into the 50. Dangerous. Offhand Smith onto the right boot. Just didn't get the curl on it. Didn't get it onto the sweet spot of the instep. And kicked it straight rather than curling it home. Minor score 5-3 to 2-1, and the margin is 20 points Essendon's way.
So Ryan to bring the ball back in for the Dockers. Going to go short back pocket mark to the Dockers for Walters. So Walters surveys is not a great deal on. Just going to have to go long and kick it to a contest. He does that almost to the wing. Essendon can absolutely raffle it. Mark taken there by Redmond, who really came on last year, Lord. He liked the look of him as a footballer. He looks like it's fair to him 100%, 100% of the time.
Yeah, good player. Good player, Redmond.
He got the ball to Shield long into the pocket again. Docker's forced to defend, knock it out of bounds. So it's right forward pocket at the Coventry end, or southern end, or, you know, any one of those shops that were the reference for people getting into the ground today that are on the concourse. And about 30 metres around Tim, the ball will be tossed back into play. Bombers into attack.
Fremantle needing to hold fast here. Devon Smith's got it, but they've got him. To use a line from that old Superman film with the late 70s tone. Remember when he saved the woman and flew into the air and he said, "It's all right, I've got you," and she said, "Yeah, but who's got you?" As the Dockers gain about 30 metres and take it out to at least the edge of the centre square. But again, it's mauling footy, and umpire Fisher has to come in and ball it up as the sun shows promising signs of breaking through here. Brought down by Darcy to Fife, who soccers it about 15 metres forward. Sard attacked it for Essendon, couldn't take it cleanly. Picked up by Sheriff for Freo. There's a whistle, and Fremantle's promising looking forward move is stopped with a free kick Essendon's way. McGrath to take it, kicks to Sard to give him a chance to use his pace. Runs forward, has the instinctive bounce, kicks into the forward pocket. Laverty just couldn't get hands onto it first. Socket clear by Conker, but not to a very good spot. Parrish for Essendon gives a little hand pass to Snelling. Short ball, and Sard followed up his own work. Did well there, backed himself, and has taken a mark 40 metres out, perhaps a little more, on a 45-degree angle.
Yeah, those are kind of plays where there's a pressured ball inside the 50-metre arc. It's so often for the attacking side, one of the might be a defender who's sort of pushing up as his opponent has gone deep into the 50, gets free and just inside the 50-metre line. Nice little chip pass. Sard was the one who did it just then.
The lead 20, and another goal or two, and the Bombers are going to have a real stranglehold on this quite early. Shortened games, of course, so margins exaggerated slightly. Sard comes in, set shot at goal. Unusual territory for him, and he just drags it to the left. Minor score, 5-4-34 Essendon, 2-1-13 Fremantle. That is on the First National Real Estate scoreboard on 3AW football.
Here's Cam McCarthy's the wingman under Justin Longmuir. So just the two disposals so far.
He marked the kick in from Conker to the wing. The ball goes. Oh, that's a good mark from Lobb. In front of Bell Chambers that time, takes it. Can they get something happening at the moment? Trailing by 21 points. Fair to say Tim, a languid start from the Dockers second quarter as he goes wide. Ryan has it for the Dockers, out wide. Bewley. He is a good footballer, this bloke, and one of the few shining lights for them at the moment. Drew a man, kicks it high around the body from wing toward half forward. Oh, massive leap that time then from Sturt. The first gamer couldn't complete it. High draft pick. Ball goes out of bounds. Speaking of...
high tackle, Tony. He's got a free.
He got a free. You're going to say, I do like what I've seen. Only small glimpses at the moment. And Sturt gets the free kick. Much known about him there, Lloyd, because I know he's a high draft pick.
Yeah, a real bolter late in the year. Kicked multiple goals. Had a really strong championships as well. So, no, he's a goal kicker.
It's mighty tough from here. He's half forward right, going to the northern or former Melbourne Remand Centre end. And this is a tough pocket to come from the city side. Need a goal. But the left footer there from 52 metres. He hit it fairly sweetly. In fact, fairly sweetly is a gross understatement.
Get around, Tone.
Get back from him! Get back from him!
All the rules have been thrown out the window, Tone.
You can only give sage advice like that so many times. Well, you know, I'll tell you what. The league... Gil McLaughlin's got to stop this. He should go out at half-time and say, cut it out.
It was his first goal. That was why. I mean, that's where you can just bend the rules just that fraction for the first goal. I've got to say, not only from Fremantle's point of view, they don't look like generating 30 shots at goal, so they're going to have to kick every shot that they get that's in and around the 50-metre arc. They've got to be able to nail. So he went back and Sturt did it beautifully.
Shouldn't make light of it, I don't suppose, but it was as though they all decided there to hell with it. We're just going to go in
his first goal.
Congratulate him, and they did. So it's back to 15 points. It's manageable again for Freo. That was an important goal by the first gamer. 5-4-34 Essendon, 3-1-19 Freo. Long delays here before the centre bounces. Now it is affected, and it finds its way to Merritt, who gives a hand pass to Shield for the Bombers. He kicks towards Stringer, who takes a mark. He skips away from Fife from just outside 50. There's the answer, and it took about 20 seconds. And I get the feeling that Jake Stringer is saying to the dual Brownlow medalist Nathan Fife, how good was that?
He has given him a mouthful, a real mouthful, something I haven't seen in the 2 games I've watched so far. Someone really get in the face of an opposition player like that.
Well, now, thank you for raising this, because this was a topic of discussion. That one there, Stringer and Fife. Dustin Martin, who's normally quite reserved. Mark Murphy. Well, what's he done to him? What was that all about, Rich?
Not sure. Rubbed the head into the ground, didn't he, after an incident there?
On more than one occasion.
Yes.
Pretty sure that Stringer, when he plays the centre bounce, pretty good centre bounce play, but he's looking to get into the forward line straight after the contest, isn't he? And probably one of their 6 forwards is actually pushing upfield to try and give them the numbers there. So that was when Fife probably is trying to do the same thing to him down the other direction.
He gave Fife so much that in the end Fife appreciated the joke.
So we play back in the middle of the ground. 8 minutes gone, second quarter for First National Real Estate. Darcy, the tap. Fife tackled by Stringer. Oh, and he's pushing back 30 metres. He's held onto the ball.
Now he's going to lay on him as well.
Yeah, that's it. And Stringer just being pulled out by James Aish from that pack. Maybe we need something to get things sparkling going. Stringer got it to Smith, to Parrish. Big tackle that time. It should be a free kick. It's too slow to release the ball was Townsend, and the free kick taken there by a rather bedraggled-looking Cam McCarthy as he goes out wide, and Bewley, who, again, I think is having a pretty fair afternoon in a side that's down by 21 points. The Dockers go towards the wing. It should be a free kick to Tabner, who was grabbed high originally.
Other way, Tone.
Well, that's surprising.
Front on, I reckon. It was.
So, free kick to be taken by the Bombers. 6-4-40 to 3-1-19. Essendon by 21 points. 9 minutes gone, tie power clock in the second quarter. Don't forget, buy 3, get 1 free. Toyo tyres this month, Tim.
Bombers work it to Guelphy, who's behind the centre line, weaving and bobbing. He gives to Merritt, who gave it back to Guelphy, running into trouble. He gave to Parrish under the pump. Now to Shield, back to Guelphy. They did well. They trod water furiously. Cox has got it, though, for Freo. Hand pass to Conker. His hand pass a little lazy, and it was deflected away by the Bombers. Fife has it. Had to cough it up under pressure. The ball under a pack. There'll be a ball up. 50.5 metres from it. No, a late free kick as Devon Smith is given a shove after the fact.
That was Nathan Fife. He just, as the play was settling down after that little bit of the pack situation, he just shoved Devon Smith in the. It was just like completely unnecessary and a stupid free kick, to be honest.
Getting under Fife's skin a bit. Ball kicked towards full forward. No one can mark. Taken by Bewley. Immediately stripped of it, but there is a Fremantle free kick. And it will be Bewley or Conker? No, Bewley.
Yeah, the high contact, Tim.
To take it between fullback and halfback, Tone.
He goes wide to the City side wing, but it's all Essendon out there. And again, Langford, great first quarter, middle of the ground. Shield, ditto, has it. Spreads wide. They've got a chance as Francis takes it for the Bombers. Closed down quickly enough, so the quick movement is slow, but it's effective in the finish because he went to Redmond. 21 points the Bombers margin. He goes back to Francis on the Yarra Valley and Croydon Toyota logo. This on the dock side.
And Tone, for us, Sparna, this will be 8 inside 50s to 1 in the second quarter for the Bombers.
They haven't really put them away. Big kick from Francis, right to the hot spot. Staying down Townsend. He just dived at that time into the knees of his opponent, which was Cox. And umpire said play on. So, Tim, this is a nice spot again for the Bombers. 25 metres out, dead in front of their goal.
Darcy and Bellchambers give each other a bit of a shove. Ball in dispute. Fife, lying on his back, finds himself with it, having to try and get rid of it in some way that satisfies the umpire. Zaharakis has got it. Gave to Cutler, to Merritt, under pressure. Didn't make good contact. Ball hangs in the air, and Brennan Cox takes the mark for Fremantle in the back pocket, favouring the City side of Marvel Stadium. He looks across the goal face, changes his mind though, and then kicks short to Duman, still in the back pocket for Freo.
Yep. Fife just lost his hair tie as well.
Adjusting his man bun.
Devon Smith pulled it out.
To half-back, the Duman kick goes, front of the pack, Brayshaw had it, stripped by Shield, ball on the decks, taken by Parrish, handball that time, Zaharakis on the wing, beyond centre half, forward, massive pack of players, fly for the ball, they've got the numbers ground level, Chera won it, gave it to Cox, who pulled his kick just a little bit, but gets it to Bewley, Bewley runs outside defensive 50, he can go wide, it's effective as well as the Dockers this time go toward half forward. The kick that time from McCarthy, and they've got it at half forward, trying to go ever further, but unable to do so. And Redmond's got it. He can go wide to Langford yet again, half back.
Bit of circle work here for the Bombers. Langford cruises wide. Hand pass to Guelphy wasn't a great option. Put him under pressure. He had every option in the world, and he managed to choose the wrong one. Now Snelling's got it for Essendon, and that's a good option as he went backwards, but put Redmond in space. And he switches play to Ridley, who dabs it forward along the city side. And Maggie Zirk-Thatcher takes the mark for Essendon. Goes corridor. Redmond marks it just behind the centre circle. Wanted to go to Francis, who was running for him, but decided it was risky, and now pushes wide, and Ridley has marked it on the city wing.
Western had to go slow because the Fremantle are just blocking up the back 50, so that's where they want Essendon to kick the ball in quickly because they got those extra numbers back there. So this is be a bit more precise in your forward ball movement.
12 and a half minutes gone, tyre power clock. Second quarter, the scoring, like the first, almost at the same time as Frozen. Essendon by 21 points. So Cutler on the wing city side opens up, goes long and high to within 30 metres of the Essendon goal. Flying high at the back, Loeb knocked it down. Hughes at the front of the pack, had it, lost it, brought to the ground. Unable to release, and Lloydie, we get a stoppage. Again, forward pocket. Again, another deep entry for the Bombers, not scoring.
Yeah, I just think that, they're just peppering. It's just a matter of time here for Essendon to score one. There's a tough tackle there from Townsend, but their ball use, Freo, has been really, really poor in this second quarter.
Yeah, it was Conker who got the tackle, Ace the clearance, still inside attacking 50 for the Bombers. Bewley is having a beauty, got it to 5, got it to Crowden, and Crowden's kicked to a one-on-one on the wing, but again, Tim, he misfires, and the Bombers take an intercept mark.
See, Fremantle have to do the same thing. They've got so many players right at the moment in their back third. They've just got to sort of maintain possession back there, because as soon as they kick it quickly forward, Essendon then outnumber them 2-3.
Bombers looking to be in total control here. Essendon just let themselves down with the approach kick into the 50, not being well directed, and Freo are able to work it clear to Schultz, who takes the mark, kicks confidently into the corridor, and hit Walters between the eyes. It was a lovely delivery. Hand pass to Tucker. Long ball, hoping Sturt can run onto it, and he does. He gives a hand pass to Chera, who reaches 50, pokes his pass to Taberner, and he takes the mark in the right forward pocket. Ridley doing everything he could. He stayed close. He tried to fist it away. Might even got a little bit of hand onto it, but couldn't jolt it clear, and it was taken at the second bite by Taberner, who kicked one from very close in from the angle in the first quarter, and now further out on an angle in the right forward pocket. He's only a couple of steps in from the boundary, or will be when he kicks his ball. He starts his run up actually outside the boundary line. So this is a very tough shot. He'll do well here to kick it. Left foot kick on its way, near side, minor score. And the margin is 20. The all-round colours of the club, 6-4-40 to 3-2-20. Essendon's way, 15 minutes second term on the First National Real Estate scoreboard.
Did a good job, though, of changing direction for him. They went from one back flank into the centre square onto the far forward flank, and that was the way they put the Essendon defence out of position.
Hurley. Back pocket, almost half back. Fife Flew couldn't take it. Waller or McDonald, Tip and Moody had it. Well done there. Zacharakis received that time from Shield to Snelling. Now Snelling's got a raft of Bomber teammates he can go to. Went short that time to Merritt, back to Snelling, back to Shield, back to McGrath. Love the pass. What a beauty going forward. Right hands there. Orazio had it and just decided in the finish, well, I'm 40 metres out. Let's give it to Jake. Sorry for the over-familiarity. Fantasia the stringer, but you feel as if you know them. And the result of which is Lloydie Stringer's got a 35 out.
One of the stats there showing out with the new way the Essendon are playing is those forward handballs. You're just seeing huge chains of them. 22 handball receives to 9 in this second quarter, and sometimes they're overdoing it a little bit, but that one they got through the numbers and pretty easy for Fantasia and Stringer to take uncontested marks inside 50.
20 points the margin the Bombers' way. Stringer will add to that by how much one wonders, and he by only the 1 point. As 6-5-41 the Bombers over the Dockers 3-2-20. Second quarter action. For First National Real Estate, they put you first as First National Real Estate. Don't like the kicking, Tim. A chance for the Bombers to force an error. Not able to do so yet. Tucker had it, lost it. Handball missed its target. Bombers win it back. That time Parrish ricochets off an opposition player. Goes to the boundary line. Bewley keeps it alive. They're going to get out of trouble. Only just this time as the ball goes out of bounds.
Well, talk about that. One of the things where players have to adjust to is the defensive pressure is almost nothing. There's been 2 tackles, and they've all both been laid by Essendon in this quarter, for the whole quarter, up to the 16-minute mark. So players are able to move the ball, but the goal scoring is by going across field into the centre square, because if you go down the line, it seems both sides are defending that play pretty easily.
Time clock. Bombers go forward. Tim 18 into the second quarter, lead by 21.
Sard kicks to within 20 metres of goal. Dockers with numbers. Hughes plucked it out of a scrambling pack, gave to Bewley, kicked towards wing 5. What a tremendous mark. He paid for it as well, copped it right on the man bun. Behind the wing, dockside for Freo. Very inexperienced team with a handful of exceptions, this Fremantle one. And the Bombers just bullying them a bit. Kick forward and lob. Stands tall and takes the mark for the Dockers. He kicks quickly because he's got a good call. Good lead from Collier. And he's marked at 45 out. Wouldn't he love to kick one against the Bombers, for whom he played for a number of seasons. Now he's in a bit from the boundary. He can see daylight. And it's out in that left to right slider zone, although I know one champion full forward who played on this ground a bit reckons that's all a bit of a myth. We'll hear from Matthew Lloyd shortly. Collier comes in, he tries for a bit of slide, and he doesn't get it. It's a behind.
No, I'm not as big on it as Brian Taylor was. So I just think that if you kick straight and doesn't deviate too much, just Collier put it out to the left far too much.
20-point margin, 41-21, Bombers lead.
Quickly to Jackie Reid.
Just down here, Aaron Francis has come off.
Hang on. Sorry to interrupt. No, go ahead now.
All clear. Aaron Francis has just come off. He looked a little bit groggy after that contest just now, but the doctor will have a quick chat to him now. Essendon
were wonky going across the defensive line. They cleared the area, get to Smith, and then to Laverty. 41-21 for First National Real Estate. 2 minutes to half-time. Bombers in control. They really need one here to get the full reward. I thought Logue was pushed out of the action, but umpire have seen it the other way, and it's going to be Townsend's free kick. Take us through it, boys.
Well, yes, it was basically is that just not letting the opponent have free access to the marking contest. I mean, that's what the free kick is for. It's a fine line, isn't it? Is it just better body use by what would then the defensive player? Let's have a look at it on a little bit of a hold going in, yeah.
They've had a good run, the Bombers. 11 free kicks to 6 so far in this game.
That was for Yarra Valley and Croydon Toyota, and confirming the correct decision. Townsend to extend the margin, and that didn't look like missing. That is a beautiful kick from 30 metres on a slight enough angle. 7-5-47 the Bombers. It is the Dockers 3-3-21. And we are, Lloydie, 20 minutes, second quarter, all on the Tyre Power time clock with 1 minute and 11 seconds to half-time.
Not even at half-time of round one, and you worry for Fremantle. And, we don't know how much footy will be played this year, but it's going to be a long one by the looks of it for this team. As Tim just touched on, you got Nathan Fyfe and Walters. They're trying to play midfield. They're trying to play forward. They can't really settle in a position because you need them everywhere. I think Rory Lobb looks really dangerous, but they just can't get the ball inside 50. It's 25 inside 50s to 13. They just don't look likely. So the Bombers have been wasteful. It's 12 scoring shots to 6. So it's just about how far and how ruthless they want to be with how big this margin should be by the end of the game.
3 goals to Townsend before half-time. I seem to recall he kicked 11 in his first 2 with Richmond.
1 mark, that was a body-to-body contest, free kick, I should say, and 3 marks and 3 goals. He's almost been the difference in the 2 teams in a way.
He should keep changing clubs because it seems to give him quite a lift. As willing contest from the restart. Fyfe's got it now in the middle. He gave it everything he had and completely shanked the kick straight onto the chest of off Guelphy at centre half-back. The umpire says you're off, so he's forced to kick. He kicks well, and he finds Ridley out on the dockside, or towards the dockside half-back flank, just inside the defensive 50. Clean cut looking Jordan Ridley, short ball to the man bunned Mason Redman, who's just on the other side of the 50, the attacking side, as it were, for the Bombers. He kicks high to the wing. Townsend tries to get into the contest. Spilling ball with Devon Smith on the breakaway to Zaharakis. Smith keeps coming to receive. Poor kick with the left. Didn't make good contact. McCarthy brought it down cleverly to Fife. McDonald, Tip and Goody put him under pressure. Fife gave it to McCarthy to Brayshaw. High ball in towards half forward. Oh, brave Hurley. Went strongly at that. Put everything on the line. Couldn't quite mark it. Ball is picked up for the Bombers by Zirk Thatcher. Siren beats them as they try and build again, but they can go to half-time content in the knowledge that 26 points is going to take a lot of reeling in. It's been an impressive start by the Dons. They're 7-5-47 to Fremantle 3-3-21. The only multiple goal scorer in the match is Jacob Townsend with 3. Stringer, Laverty, Fantasia and Smith have singles, and for Freo, Taberner, Sturt and Lobb have kicked their goals.
Yep, the second quarter brought to you by First National Real Estate. At First National Real Estate, agencies all across Australia, they put you first. It's pretty comfortable for the Bombers at the moment. 7-5-47 to the Dockers, 3-3-21 earlier today. Tim, that margin in favour of the Kangaroos.
2 points, Tone. It was a thriller, 5-4-34 to 5-2-32.
We will get back and get Lloydie and also Lee to break down the first half of action here when we return for the halftime wrap, all thanks to Sheen Panel Service. But for now, Essendon should be well pleased with their efforts. 7-5-47 to the Dockers, 3-3-21 right across Australia. All thanks to McDonald's. Naturally delicious, their brand new grass-fed beef burger. You are listening to 3AW Football.
3AW Footy Highlights.
He kicks towards Stringer, who takes a mark. He skips away from Fife from just outside 50. There's the answer. And it took about 20 seconds. And I get the feeling that Jake Stringer is saying to the dual Brownlow medalist Nathan Fife, how good was that?
Oh, massive leap that time then from Sturt. The first game, it couldn't complete it. He got a free. He hit it fairly sweetly. In fact, fairly sweetly is a gross understatement.
Get around time, Tone.
Get back from him! Get back from him!
All the rules have been thrown out the window, Tone.
Can't touch this.
So it is half-time. Essendon by 26 points. We're going to start the Sheen Panel Service wrap before we do it with Lee and Matthew Lloyd. Jackie Reid, please.
Well, let's have another look at this breaking news coming out of Collingwood today. A Collingwood staff member who was recently overseas has tested positive for the coronavirus. In accordance with government protocols, the staff member has been in isolation since returning to Australia and is recovering at home and being monitored by the Department of Health and Human Services. The staff member will not return to the Holden Centre until medically cleared to do so. Pies president Eddie Maguire was on Fox Footy a short time ago.
A staff member in isolation did the right thing, came back from overseas, did the 2-week isolation, has come down with the coronavirus, has had no contact with anyone at the club or anyone around the club surround. So bad news for our staff member. We hope that person has a very speedy recovery. But the good news,
Jackie?
And then it appears that there is no transmission risk to the club at the moment, but it is interesting, and a lot of clubs are on high alert as we hope that we can get as far into the season as possible.
Wonderful stuff. Thank you very much, Jackie. Sorry, Lloyd.
Just most footy clubs are actually completely separated their footy department from the rest of their staff. I know the Lions have, and I'm sure it's just standard in the football clubs for exactly this eventuality, because, Collingwood, apart from their footy department, they have probably 100 employees, one would think. So all the clubs are actually making sure if this happens, it isn't directly going to affect the football department.
Yeah, working from home. Most all of the staff, I know Melbourne Footy Club have moved out to Casey, so they're on their own. I know Hawthorn have pulled out from no Box Hill Hawks anymore.
Yep.
So, all those things.
Just very quickly before we get into this game for Home Safe Solutions, we'll just go around the ground, enjoy your retirement using the equity in your home. The Kangaroos won earlier today by 2 points over the Pies. It is Melbourne by 7 points over the Giants, and we're 4 minutes away from half-time in that game. Let's get down to it, Matthew, because it seems like that Essendon should be a lot further in front than the 26 points at the moment. Yeah, it's a flattering scoreboard. It's a long 26 points that we often talk about how Leeds look here, but just Essendon. I think Townsend, Lee just touched on what a bonus he's been in a low-scoring game. The Dockers have kicked 3 for the game, and he's kicked 3 himself. Jacob Townsend looks really, really dangerous. The midfield players, their possessions are much more dangerous. Dylan Shields, 16 disposals. The way they're linking up by handball and by foot. Mason Redmond's had 9 marks, 12 disposals. Zaharakis, Sard, McGrath, Merritt, Parrish, just the quality of their midfield group and running group compared to Fremantle, where, if Bewley's had your most with 13, he's still finding his way in the game. Nathan Fyfe, he's been pretty much bashed around a lot by the Essendon players. He's trying hard, but he hasn't had a huge effect on the game, Nathan Fyfe. He's had 12. Walters has had 9, but I don't think he's had much of an effect on the game. So they just need to be able to try and get the ball into Taberner and Lobb, Rory Lobb, in this game, because they look okay when the ball's near them. It's just that the ball has just been hacked in there, hasn't been much quality ball, and I think they've gone sideways too much, Fremantle. They haven't really penetrated Essendon much to give themselves a chance, Lee. No, basically Essendon have had the field position, no doubt about that, but I mean both sides, apart from Townsend, I mean he's won 4 contests and kicked 3 goals, which 3 were contested marks inside 50 and 1 was the free kick from the body-to-body contest. So to be honest, he's really he's the one forward on the ground that's looking dangerous. Certainly Fremantle haven't got anyone else up their end, and I've got to say, none of the other Essendon forwards down their end are really looking dangerous either, I've got to say, but they're getting plenty of opportunity because the Essendon midfield probably and their back line has actually been fairly impenetrable, so they're getting plenty of looks at the ball in their forward 50, but certainly at the moment you'd say neither side is looking like they've got a class forward line. That with a look at that half of football, but Townsend's the one that has elevated himself into that category today. This is the half-time wrap for Sheen Panel Service, keeping you on the road for 50 years. Sheen Panel Service, it is Essendon by 26 points. We talked about the lack of pressure, Lee, and you touched on it during the game with the minimal tackles. Essendon have had double, 28 to Fremantle's 14, and that's a concern for Fremantle because Essendon, you look at it, they're smashing them in every department. Contested possessions 49 to 36, but uncontested 120 possessions to 76. And if you want to play that way against Essendon, where you're not laying a lot of tackles yet, Essendon are winning that much ball, that's where this lead could really blow out after half-time. Yeah, no, it's certainly looking all Essendon, no doubt about that. But as I say, the Townsend's been critical, but nevertheless, in all the aspects of their game, Essendon are doing better. But yeah, the games we've seen so far seem to be relatively low pressure. I don't know whether or low tackling. Is that because the ball is moving? We're having less pack situations, and they're more handballs. And the forward handball concept that we've sort of thought Richmond have been doing more than most clubs over the last few years. Okay, in under pressure, get the ball forward somehow or other, so the ball keeps moving. That's why maybe the tackling effort's relatively low. Like Essendon have done okay. I mean, you get up 30 odd tackles in the shortened quarters. They're doing okay, but it's a free flowing game. But again, I just look at who's the ability to finish from your forward 50 chances. I mean, that was the thing that separated Richmond, particularly early in the game on Thursday night. Last night, Collingwood, their ability to kick goals from those half chances and entries into their forward 50. And Essendon are only moderate at that today, in my view, and Fremantle have been quite poor. So on that basis, Fremantle have to. I mean, Walters, Fyfe, again, we said before the game, they have to do something really special in the second half. Brett Bewley's been good. He's been probably Fremantle's best player. He's got a bit of the ball. It looks like Essendon's game unless Fremantle completely do the U-turn. 7-5-47 Essendon over the Dockers 3-3-21. We're in the half-time break for Sheen Panel Service. Don't forget, as soon as we finish here, around about 5 o'clock it will be. We'll take some post-match presses and try to work out exactly just how good Essendon is. If they keep this up, they're in for a really, really big victory. And then, of course, it's Marco and the Ox, the Twilight Zone, taking it through until 7 o'clock, and guarantee all the things that you love about Marco and Knox will come to 3AW in spades on a lot of that sort of 5 to 7 time slot on a Saturday afternoon. And then don't forget tomorrow, great to have Kevin Bartlett back with the team, part of 3AW football, along with Matty Granlund. Bit of a new look Sunday lineup. Sure, it will be fantastic. So Hawthorn and Brisbane, KB makes his, well, not debut, because been a few years since he's been away, but the much loved and excellent footballer and great caller as well. KB, we're looking forward to you making your debut. So, halftime here, 26 points is the margin. Essendon 47, Fremantle 21. Let's head to the 3AW newsroom.